Honorable Justice Senthil Kumar Ramamurthy, Dr. Swaminathan, Shri Muthu, the President of the Rotary Madras East Club, Ravi Venkataramani, the Secretary of the club, and Ms. Aarti Lakshmi Narayan. All the Rotarians assembled here. I am indeed honored and feel happy to accept this award from the Rotary Club, the Madras East Rotary Club. And let me tell you why I feel proud to accept this award. Firstly, because it is in the memory of someone whom I regard as a mentor and whom I first met at the age of 22 when you narrated my brief history. It was in the age of 22 that I first met Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, and when at that time he was the Director General of ICAR in New Delhi. And then I continued an association with him right up till the end for the last that many years. So that's the first reason I feel proud, because in the memory of such a great person whom I, like perhaps Eklavya, regarded as a mentor. I mean, he may not have seen me as one of his shishyas, but I'm saying like Eklavya, I regarded him as a mentor. Secondly, it's the second award I am receiving in which Dr. Swaminathan is involved, because the first one that I got on account of, in some sense, his involvement was the Norman Borlaug Award in 1998, when he was the chairman of the award selection committee. Thirdly, I have seen from the note that the Rotary Club shared with me that awards in the past have been given to absolutely outstanding awardees, far more competent and far bigger achievers than myself. People like N. Ram, Jeffrey Sachs, Sunita Narayan, Madhav Gadgil. I'm absolutely amazed at the environmental awareness of this club. To be able to identify such champions who have been directly or indirectly contributing to the environmental protection. The citation has already narrated some of the achievements that are attributed to me, but I may just share very briefly a summary that since 1993 to date, the foundation that Sam Pitroda and me established, as well as the university, have, in collaboration with state forest departments all over the country, north, south, east, west, established the largest conservation network. Conservation, what we mean is that there are 108 locations, north, south, east, west of India. Each location is a forest, is a natural forest, around 600 acres in size, so they are fairly large. So there are 108 600-acre natural habitats. We call these as medicinal plant conservation areas. And these have been done over the last 30 years in collaboration with the state forest departments. This is the largest conservation network for conserving wild populations or gene pools of medicinal plant diversity in the entire tropical world. No other country has established this large a network of conservation areas. We have also established the country's only national herbarium. That's a botanical thing. A national herbarium of all the botanicals, or most of the botanicals that are used in India's medical heritage. And that's a very large number. There are over 6,500 species of plants that are used, all over this country. So we have established an internationally recognized herbarium of these plants. So if anyone who's interested in that subject of botany and plants, this is the most reliable place where you can see the medicinal plants of the country in the form of what we call a herbarium. And it's internationally recognized, this particular herbarium. And it is accompanied by a database so that what we have in the herbarium can also be searched in an electronic database. A third contribution that FRLHT and TDU have made is that we have computerized the knowledge relating to these species that I mentioned, all the way from original texts of Ayurveda, of Siddha, of Unani, of what we call Swarikpa, that's the Tibetan system. We have computerized the knowledge relating to these plants from original texts, right from 1500 BC to 1700 AD. It's computerized. So, if you ask about any plant, then we can give you a printout, or we can show you with references of chapter and verse from the various sources, the information about the plant. So there's enormous information on every single plant. Even if you say a common plant like Tulsi, we can give you a monograph, chapter and verse of where Tulsi has been mentioned from 1500 BC. But this is not only about Tulsi, it's about hundreds of species that are there in this database. So it's a traditional knowledge database. And it's a database on plants as well as on food. Now, this kind of a database has helped us to establish a very unique research program in the field of Ayurveda and biology, meaning it's an emerging field where we combine the knowledge of these plants in Ayurveda and we research that in laboratories. So the university has excellent laboratories for chemistry, for microbiology, for genetics, for what we call multi-omics. So that's the kind of work we do, and that field is called Ayurveda biology. It was a field that got seeded by a very great person named M.S. Swaminathan, who was a surgeon, in fact, also Padma Vibhushan and all that, who seeded this in 2005 along with the Indian National Science Academy, this field. And this university, which I represent, is one of the pioneers in the field. We also have food processing laboratories, and so we can create modern versions of products. We can give you Triphala, which you may have all heard of, but in the form of a this Korean thing, what do you call it? Yes, kombucha. Or we can give you chips, which companies like Kevin Care can consider. We don't ourselves, we only make prototypes, we only do the science and the technology, but we don't really do manufacturing. But chips which are tastier than potato chips, but which are made from greens and from amla, and if you eat 3 of those chips, you will have no acidity, etc., that you might get if you eat a lot of potato chips. But it will improve the iron absorption. You will get the iron requirements for the day just from eating 3 chips. I'm just giving that as example. So I'm saying we have translated this knowledge into products as well as into services. Mr. Ratan Tata was very compassionate, and he has also helped the Swaminathan Foundation a great deal. In fact, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan was a member of the Tata Trusts when they approved the creation of a 100-bed hospital in Bangalore on the university campus. So we also not only produce, we do research, which we produce products, but also services. And the hospital is an example of that service, where maybe 50,000 people come every year from all over, particularly, of course, from Karnataka and Bangalore, but also from the rest of the country and from 56 other countries. We have people coming, and many of you may be surprised because, every single patient, the data is computerized, we have medical records. And what our records show is that, people think that Ayurveda can only deal with this or that limited things. But what it shows is that except for emergencies, acute conditions, and surgery in which Ayurveda can make no contribution, the entire spectrum of all other conditions, be it neurological, be it autism in children, be it strokes, Parkinson's, GIT tract, skin, everything, including infectious conditions. During COVID, Tamil Nadu played a big role through its own traditional Siddha system, but including infections, gangrenous foot, wounds that are not diabetic ulcers that are not healing, or even in cancer there are tumors that, you find difficult to heal. The surgical part is done, but this is not anything to do with my university. You can see similar work in any good Ayurvedic clinical establishment anywhere. But that is the way, that is the observation that we see, the value of this heritage, contemporary value of this heritage. I'm indeed honored to receive the award in the hands of such an eminent judge of the Madras High Court. And I thank the club for getting me to receive the award from such an eminent person. I am also feel very good to have felicitation subsequently by Swamya Swaminathan, whom I think is another great Indian, and in the footsteps you might see another person who will contribute to nation building in similar ways as Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Finally, I must point out, when I narrated the achievements of the university and of the foundation, that work of this kind cannot be done by any single individual. And so what I have narrated is the work of very talented and dedicated team of people, botanists, traditional physicians, experts, scientists, information technology people. So it's really the achievement of this entire team, and people like me who happen to be contributing to some direction in that, get all the credit for the work that so many people do. And so indeed I accept this award with a great deal of humility. So thank you very much.